over again. My screen has got some junk on it. Today, I did not really have this planned, but we're doing it anyway. So, I had intended to come to the shop and make a saddle loop for someone. That's all I had to do today. But it turned into cleaning the shop. The shop's nice and clean now. Cleaner than it was. Wait for some folks to get in here. Maybe we'll get some people in. But it is National Knife Day. Happy National Knife Day, everybody. And today, since it is National Knife Day, we'll talk about knives. Go figure. I got a good bit of knives sitting here to talk about. But specifically, we'll talk about some knives that are not mine, not made by me. But for the most part, that's what we're going to do today. For those of you who are coming back to watch this over again, thank you very much for everyone who picked up a knife on the drop this weekend. Everything is sold out. In fact, only one knife made it past 2 hours, and it made it on into Sunday. And it's gone now too. But everything was almost completely sold out within 2 hours. That was pretty cool. I appreciate everybody. Just support like that matters. Does it usually take this long? Like when I'm grinding? For people to get in? Not at all? We got someone else in. Whoever you may be, they're starting to join now. We're going to talk about knives today. And I just got finished doing like a half cleaning of the shop. I did a little bit of the floors, all around the grinder benches, on the grinder benches and machines and stuff like that. But once everybody gets in here, we get a few more people in here, then we'll do some talking. Hey, there we go. All right, let's talk about some knives. So, again, thank you to everybody who picked up a knife on the drop this weekend. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate your support. This past Friday, we released a new model called the Lone Star. This is it, Lone Star, and this one is in Nitro V, 5/32 stock, beautiful hollow grind, about 19.5, 20 thousandths behind the edge. This is Slice Wizard. This one has got the black grip tech, nice Kydex sheath. Pretty sweet. And for a new model drop, they went pretty dang good. Let's see. We had 4 different variants. Well, it's legal here. I don't know about where you're at. I can't say. This one is in Nitro V as well, Lone Star. And this one has got the Fat Carbon Snowfire. All these Lone Stars are sold. They're gone. These two, I had 2 of these with the Fat Carbon, and they were gone within a couple minutes. Hey, I'm glad you asked what's my favorite knife. Today we're going to talk about that. Well, we're going to talk about some of my favorite knives. Considering it is National Knife Day, but right now I'm showing off the new model that dropped this weekend, the Lone Star. This one's got orange liners under burgundy micarta with copper Corby screws. Pretty awesome. Awesome looking knife. So, I know a few folks are going to come back and watch this, and I'll just go ahead and get started. For those of you who are new in here, I'm Jacob with Very Good Knife Company. Welcome in. Happy to have you. Today, as suggested by the guy who designed those knives that I was just showing you. So Zach Schmidt designed these knives. The Lone Star. And Zach has been a big time supporter of the community. In fact, he buys knives all the time and just sends them to people and gives them to YouTubers to love on and do reviews of and whatnot. But Zach has been providing a lot of us with knife content, and I'm no exception to that. So I've shown some of the knives that he sent, not all of them, but I'm going to go over some of the knives that I didn't make today. Considering all my live streams are about me making knives and doing runs, but today, what's up, Sean Zanino? How's it going, bud? Good to see you. Thanks for picking up a knife. You got you a good one too. So Sean is a big time collector, Very Good Knife Company knives. He has got some knives that I guarantee nobody else has got. And and he's got some really nice specials as well. Anyway, today, Sean, we're going to be showing off some knives that Zach sent me in honor of Zach. All right, so you guys have not seen this one on this channel, but Zach just sent, this is the most recent knife that Zach sent me. This is the Red Wolf from Work Tough Gear. And you know what? When I first saw this knife, I want to say I saw it on Gabe's channel. Maybe it was on Scabs, one of the two. I really liked this knife, and I like a lot of knives from Work Tough Gear. But Zach sent me this, and he told me that it just made him think of me, so he sent it to me. And Zach, you were spot on, buddy. I love the colors, that camo G10, the orange liners, little snake knot braid on the back, lanyard. This is a nice knife. It's a really nice knife. Work Tough Gear does some awesome stuff. And the other one, I've got another one from Work Tough Gear here, the Nomad Bushcrafter. Zach sent me this as well. Pretty awesome knife, that red and black G10. Pretty sweet. And the fit and finish, I'll say, on Work Tough Gear stuff for production knives it's very top quality. It's very nice. Very nice fit and finish. I've got one more from Work Tough, and this one is one of my favorites for sure. This is the Steadfast. This was designed by Calvin Richardson. There's a new one out that Scab was just doing videos of. It's the Steadfast L with the longer blade. Absolutely awesome knife. I love this knife. I think it looks great. It feels great. That forward slanted handle face. I kind of took a piece of that and put it into that Pro Cut test knife that I sent to Jacob Peterson, just because I like the way that feels. It feels really good. The Work Tough Gear Steadfast. This thing is awesome. So goodbye. Damn. Take your darkness somewhere else. Oh boy. Alright, so here's another knife that I did not make. This one is made by AUX or Ox Manufacturing. And this, I actually saw these guys at Blade Show, not this past year, but last year. Yeah, man. Maybe go get some mental help. It's alright. No shame in admitting that you need it, but anyway, this is the Pocket Bowie, and I think it's an AUS 8. I'd have to look at the paper that Zach sent me on it. Nice Kydex sheath. This thing is really nice. It's like a coffin handle Bowie. Yeah, you could cut apples with it. I don't see why not. This thing is extremely pointy. It's very thin behind the edge. In fact, I've never measured how thin it is behind the edge. Let's go find out, because I'm curious. So this knife, I just brought all my knives from home to do this because I had to be here today anyway. This knife has such the tiniest little edge. Let's see how thin it is. it's about, it's got a steep edge on it then. It's about 16 thousandths. About 16 thousandths behind the edge. That's pretty thin. It looks thinner than that. A lot of that has to do though that this is 3/16 stock, 3/16 blade stock, and it also has a very short bevel, so it doesn't have a long taper, making it thinner and behind the edge for longer. But very nice knife from Ox Manufacturing. It's got a lot of texturing on the handle, which I'm usually not a fan of, and to be honest, the handle was more or less based towards looks on this one for sure, with the coffin handle and the big clip point. This one's almost like a trailing point. It's close. Tip does not come up past the spine, but it's, I'm not sure that I'd call it a clip point necessarily, but that's, you know, we're kind of going for Bowie with this kind of knife. Anyway, from Ox Manufacturing, the Pocket Bowie. This thing's pretty sweet. I like it. I dig it. I dig it. All right, so you guys might know what this one is. This is a Reef F4 in 3V. Pretty sweet knife. Reef has, or Rife, however you want to say it, they have some extremely nice finish on their knives. They're really, really next level. Now, one thing I don't like about Reef knives was their the edge angles. So the first thing I did with this knife, after playing with it for a minute, the angles was just, they were just too steep. So I dropped the angles back to about 17.5 degrees. And then I added an eyelet on the sheath. So these sheaths, this is the top eyelet, and without any collection up at the top, it had like no retention at all. None. You could turn it upside down and shake it out of the sheath. And all they needed to do was add an extra eyelet. That's what I did. And now it has very minimal rattle. I love the sheaths from Reef. So they've got an intentionally overmolded piece right here for a thumb ramp, rather than doing what I do with my thumb ramps, which is I flare them out like that. This one is just kind of molded in. It's pretty cool too. It's just like a fin there. So I actually did something like this last week for a custom knife that I made, and it required a sheath that had a little bit of overmold. It was a gut hook, but it ended up having a fin like this on the back for a thumb ramp, and he said it works great. I do make knives, but today I'm off of making knives. Today I'm talking about everybody else's knives for National Knife Day, and then I'll talk about some of my own knives. But anyway, that is Reef F4, sent to me by Zach. It's an awesome knife. I love it. It's a great knife. So up next we've got a Demco Free Rein. So this is a big old Tanto. This one is in AUS 10A. These knives are made in Taiwan. It's got an injection molded rubber handle, big old lanyard flare pin right there. This knife feels really good, and it has a lot of grip with that rubber. It's all rubber. I have a SOG that I'm going to show here in just a second, but this knife is pretty sweet. It's very clean on the bevels. It's got a nice belt satin finish, and it's pretty sharp too. Pretty awesome looking knife. But my favorite part about the Demco knives is their patent pending, or it's probably patented now. Their sheath design is really cool. So it's a 4-piece sheath. You've got these 2 side pieces, and then you've got a front and a back, and they all come apart. You can take it all apart, and I thought that was pretty cool. Not that I'd ever want to do anything like that. That's there's a lot of engineering that went into this to get it exactly the way it is now. It's got some topographical lines on there. It's pretty dang good looking. being square and extra bulky, but it fills the purpose really nicely. It's a nice sheath. I like the idea, because if you were to get this knife super dirty or get the sheath super muddy inside, all you had to do is unscrew it, take it apart, clean it, and it's all clean inside and out. So the Demco Free Rein, pretty sweet knife. All right, so and so mentioned the SOG. Here I've got a SOG. This is the SOG Tech Buoy. Pretty awesome looking knife. So this one has got a pin tang or hidden tang. Greetings from Ukraine. Ukraine, that's a good ways away. Greetings from America. Good to see you. It is an awesome idea for the sheath. Again, I'm not sure I would ever want to make something like this. I mean, this is all machine injection molded and everything, but I mean, dang, it's a pretty nice design. It is. So this is the SOG Tech Buoy. This one is in, I think this one is in AUS 8 or AUS 10 as well. But yeah, it is kind of a little bulky. But anyway, this knife is pretty sweet. It's got a nice good fit taco style sheath, kind of a hybrid. They put a little overmold up top for a screw so they could run a dropper style. Pretty sweet knife from SOG. This one was also sent to me by Zach. It's got a good feel to it. I like the guard. It's kind of a radical looking blade. And it's really nice, really clean, hollow grind. Hollow beveled. Not sure it was ground. It was probably CNC done. All right, up next, we've got, let's go with a bigger one. This one was also sent to me by Zach. This one is the Off-Grid Knives Cayman Double XL. This one is in cryo-treated D2. I specified cryo because they specified cryo. But these off-grid knives are pretty cool. This is the third one that I've had my hands on. And it's the only one I own, but it's the third one that I've had my hands on, and they're all pretty nice for what they are, especially for the price. What's up, David Gray? How's it going? Good to see you. So this one's got a big old taco style sheath. It's all flat dark earth. It's got like a stonewash finish on the blade. It is a stonewash finish on the blade. This thing's huge too. It's very big. Pretty sweet. So this knife is kind of special to me. I got this knife the day my best friend died. He died of cancer earlier this year, but I went and picked up this knife from the post office. I didn't know it was in the post office, but I thought it was kind of interesting because this knife is the Cayman, and the box has got gators, Caymans all over it. And my buddy Jordan, he was really into gators. In fact, when we were kids, when we first met in kindergarten, we were chasing each other around on the playground, and he had brought like a freeze-dried gator, a little tiny gator head from Florida. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. He brought it for show and tell. Anyway, he was running around on the playground, and I bumped into him or something, and he fell on top of that, and it broke his little gator head. And we were friends from that moment on, all the way up until April 21st. Anyway, pretty cool knife that came in XL. This is a knife by a company called Half Face Blades. What's up, Billy Hobbs? How's it going, bud? Good to see you. I'm plenty busy. I am plenty busy. So this one is called Half Face Blades. That is the name of this knife comb. It's got some jimping on the back, and there's two different sizes of cuts right there. Like it looks a little almost like, I guess at first glance it's kind of got like a napped look, like a flint napped look. But if you look at it close, it's actually just offset cuts on the jimping. Of Of course, once you examine that, it kind of ruins it doesn't ruin anything on the knife, but the thought of it looking like it's just a random flint knap pattern. But they nailed that. That's pretty cool. This is a stone-washed, I want to say this is 1095. This is a stone-washed 1095. And the segmented handles that they've got going on here are really nice. The fit and finish on this knife is really nice. It's probably about 7 inches long. It's got plenty of handle. A little small in the choil. I would open this up. If just one suggestion about the knife for half-face blades if they were to ever watch this. But no diss at all. The one thing that I found weird about this knife was the sheath. It doesn't have a click in at all. That's because it's suede lined. This is suede lined Kydex, and it's kind of weird. I just can't. What is the watch? My watch is a Casio Forester, a cheap Casio Forester. It's like a $40 watch. It's been a good one though. I can't complain. But the sheath on this one is suede lined Kydex, and I can't say that I'm a fan. I really can't. It doesn't have retention issues. It has a lot of friction retention, but there's no click in at all. It has friction retention, and it doesn't rattle. It doesn't wiggle around in there. It's nicely done for what it is. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the suede lined Kydex. It's not the first time I've ever seen that, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, a pretty dang nice knife from Half Face Blades. I've heard some good things from about the Half Face Blades. I have seen one or two on YouTube, but I haven't seen a whole lot about them. But I know that it's Zach told me a little bit about it. It's veteran owned, and they're out west somewhere, Colorado, somewhere out there. I don't know. Anyway, pretty dang nice. I'm not quite positive on what kind of wood that is, but we've got some brass and G10 spacers with this is red canvas micarta, or double red, coral red canvas micarta inlays. And this right here up front kind of, well, it kind of looks like what's it called? Stuff that countertops are made out of. Like the synthetic that countertops are made out of. I can't remember what it's called. I cannot remember. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, pretty sweet knife from Half Face Blades. Moving on. Oh, so Zach did not send me this knife. I traded a knife for this a couple years ago. And I traded a knife to my buddy Jacob Peterson. This is the one that he makes through White River Knives for Exodus Knife and Tool. Shout out to Exodus Knife and Tool. This is the Adventure Craft, but this one is special because it's got the Lego brick handles and the sparkly yellow. It's pretty sweet. A brick craft with this is one of the first ones, like the first 50 of that run, I want to say, all had the sparkly metallic flake in the yellow Cerakote. Pretty dang good looking. And I have not used this knife much because it's kind of special, like a limited edition kind of thing, and I just kind of set it aside. I think it's pretty awesome. Another one of those that I just like having in my collection. I really like this knife. And the red sheath. Good fitting sheath. Alright. Next is, well, I think that's about all of those that I had sitting there. Up last, one of my favorites, if not my favorite out of the bunch, is the TKL Accomplice. This one is an AEBL with the nickel boron coating. I was outside burning boxes this morning at the house, watching Tim and Suzanne live today. Shout out to TKL Knives. Thanks for giving me a shout out, bud. And Tim actually picked up a knife this weekend on the drop. He actually got one of the ADCRV2 Lone Stars in Grip Tech. Pretty sweet. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. So, I really have been a fan of TKL knives since they started really... I mean, they haven't been around forever, but it's been quite a few years. And I've been going to see them at Blade Show. And for a machine-made knife, I think they're fantastic. I really do. And they're basic and simple. Now, a lot of their design is tactical-minded. Extra grip, extra pokey. I've done a lot of playing with this knife, and I've done a lot of keeping it clean as well, because I just like having this one in my collection. You know what I like about TKL knives? They'll come with this awesome packaging. One day I'd like to do something along this line. I'm not trying to copy, but I mean, you know, everybody pulls one out of the box and they take the box and they chuck it. This is what TKL knives come in, and I think that's really awesome. I do. This is the Accomplice in AEBL. This has got some of the marbled, I think it's the marbled G10. It's like brown and black and tan G10, coyote G10, marbled together. Pretty dang sweet. I like this knife a lot. All right, now that is about, well, it's not all of the ones that, so here's some of my personal folders that I have enjoyed throughout the years. If you guys have followed me for a while and watched any of the podcasts, you know that I had an upbringing with case knives. My dad was a big time collector. So naturally I do like some case knives. I have some at home, but I only brought a couple with me today. Some that have been carried by me over the years. This is Sodbuster Jr. with the black Delrin. Pretty sweet knife. This one doesn't walk and talk a whole lot anymore because it's grimy, but it's still got a little snap. I like that knife. And then this one I've had since I was probably 10 years old. This is a case as a Stockman is what this is. This is a case Stockman, 2000s, early 2000s case Stockman, and the orange G10 customized, personalized handles came from Shiloh Case, and that was a members only thing. And my dad ended up getting 3 of them, one for me, one for my mom, and one for himself. My mom had a Peanut. He had a Rust Lock, and this is a Stockman. And he actually lost his at the airport. Ran in and forgot it was in his pocket. Sorry, can't have it no more. But I've had mine for over 20 years, and it's been sharpened a lot. The blade's been sharpened back a good bit. I've carried it a whole bunch. See, I've kind of rounded that sheep's foot off just a little, and then it's got a spay blade on it as well that I haven't used a whole lot. But this knife is pretty grimy inside. It still talks a little, but this is one of my favorite knives. And it just kind of sits in the collection box at home now. And then, oh, come on now. The greatest knife ever made. We got to have that one on here. The Ozark Trail Bug Out Clone. The $10 Walmart Bug Out Killer. You guys know this is the greatest knife on planet Earth. This one was sent to me by my buddy Tim with Tim's School of Fish. And I have sat and played with it so much, it's twice as smooth as it was when I got it. And it's just not a terrible knife. I had been unable to find them at my Walmart here. In fact, any of the Walmarts around, I've just not been able to find them. I went to Academy and a couple other places, and I just, like, these things got so hyped up so fast, and I really wasn't crazy about the idea. Like, I'm not a folder guy at all, but I just wanted to know, because I'm not a fan of Benchmade, and I wanted to know what the hype was on the $10 Benchmade bug out killer was like. And I just couldn't find one, and my buddy Tim, he sent me one. He told me for a while, I'm gonna send you one, I'm gonna send you one. He finally sent me one. Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Zach, and thank you, Jacob Peterson, everybody else who sent me knives. I appreciate it. So now that we have gotten through those other knives, let's take a look at some other of my favorite knives that I carry, that I made. And all right, let's just start off here. So my last everyday carry was my Adventure Nitro V. I just swapped this one out. I carried this one for a year, just a little over a year. Every single day, it never left my belt except to go to a different pair of pants or shorts. But I carried this knife up until I made this one to have a new one to go to blade shows and other adventure. If you guys have been around a while here at Very Good Knife Company, you know Adventure's about all I want to carry. They're my favorite knife. But this is a Gen 3 Adventure in 5/32. The standard is 3/16. This one is just slightly thinner blade stock. Anyway, I do still use this knife around the house, but I've switched to carrying this knife every day. This knife cut up a whole bunch of boxes this morning, and it's a great knife. I love it. I have been testing this. Do what? My favorite fixed blade steel. My favorite carbon steel is ADCR V2. My favorite stainless steel is Nitro V. That is my favorite. And to be honest, I can't decide between the two which is my favorite. Now, I don't like having to take care of the ADCR V2, but I do. This is my Eagle, my personal Eagle, and you can see it's got a patina all the way around the handle. It is turned gray and slightly tinged brown because I don't know, I'm not like crazy about sitting on a bunch of oil and oiling it up. Doesn't mean that I won't do it. I love ADCR V2. I think it is probably my favorite of the two, though. There's why Nitro V over AEBL. So 14 C28, 13 C26, 12 C20. There's coming out with a new one, Nitro X7, Nitro V, AEBL. They are all almost the same steel. In fact, they're all derived from the same original idea of a stainless or ingot stainless. And to me, there is a very extremely marginal difference between the two. I have some AEBL that I use, and I have some AEBL kitchen knives. Nope, I'm not a MagnaCut fan. And here's some AEBL. This is for kitchen knives. Yeah, see, I mean, environment makes a difference. If you're living in the rainforest, you don't want ADCR V2. I know that. But I mean, if you're out in the desert, I'd always choose a carbon steel. I was going to show you guys. One of my favorite things about particularly carbon steels is you can just take a sharpener like this. Let's see if I can do it right quick. Cut a paper towel. I know for a fact that it won't cut a paper towel right now because it was dull before I started doing cardboard, and it's dull now. And that's okay. But this is my favorite part about ADCR V2. is I can hit it on, now I got tape all over the edge too. Tape glue.
What happened between you and MagnaCut?
The price happened between me and MagnaCut. I don't believe. I just don't believe. I'm sorry. I cannot bring myself to raise the prices of my knife by another $100 just to have MagnaCut. And I honestly, it's not, I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever use it either. Because I think it's a bandwagon type of steel. It's a marketing kind of steel. So that right there is all I did to it. Let's see what kind of difference that made. I doubt that it's, yeah, it's not quite there. But, I mean, you can see that is why I like the carbon steels, because it takes a whole 30 seconds to bring it back to
Rex 45.
A working edge. I've never used Rex 45. I haven't used a whole lot of the steels that aren't extremely popular either. I've used just about every single carbon steel in existence, as far as like a forging steel. We used to do a bunch of forging at Two Jakes. Just a little more work on that edge with nothing. This is nothing but a a ceramic rod. That's all I'm using. That's it right there. That's as far as I need to go with it, and that's enough. So you guys saw right there that this knife needed no major attention in order for it to get back to super sharp. It just needed a very, very light touch. That right there is the number one reason why. Yeah, I mean, you could take it one step farther too. That would be the number one reason why I like ADCRB2 right there. It's extremely tough. It holds an edge pretty dang good, but it sharpens up so fast. And you can take it one step farther. You can come over here with a strop. Here I got just a cheap piece of leather strop, and I'll show you how I use it. Just like that. You guys are probably like, what in the hell is he doing? I don't like sitting here flipping around with a strop. If I want them stropped, I usually just take them to the buffer and strop them that way. But this, you guys see that? All I'm doing is dragging the strop underneath the knife. That's all I'm doing. And there, this edge is nice and sharp again. There you have it. Very, very sharp again. So, Nitro V will sharpen up almost that easy as well. Sometimes it'll take a couple little extra strokes on the ceramic rod, but I mean it's all in heat treat as well. I don't like anything that's super hard. It's another reason why I don't like this whole new Rockwell hardness movement. Everybody thinks nowadays that if you're not pushing 80 Rockwell, then you're not holding an edge. It's just, you know what? It's not even worth getting into. But when you get up way high into hardness, then you start losing sharpenability. So this was the Mrs. knife. This is her adventure. It's an 80 CRV2. I made hers and mine at the same time. It was right before Blade Show, but they're twins. Hers has just got burgundy micarta, and mine's got the double green. But they're twins. Now, once you do this, probably 10 or 12, 20 times, you're going to want to need to re-edge or re-profile your edge, because this will eventually change the angle and round it over. It'll over convex it. What'll happen is it'll eventually feel like, you know, it's sharp for just a second, and then it goes back to dull, slick. That is all it takes. That what I just showed you. And hers was a little duller than mine. In fact, hers was duller than mine because mine was duller than hers to begin with. And before I got finished cutting all the cardboard this morning that we were burning, I ended up switching over to her knife because I didn't want to run inside and grab the sharpener. There was no stropping involved in this at all. None. Zero, zip, zilch. No stropping at all. And that is where we are with it. Again, you can go even farther with the strop, but I mean, it's just not all that necessary. So I have not used any of the rolling sharpeners yet. No, sir, I have not. I've not tried any of the tumbler style sharpeners. I think they're a gimmick. Hello from Albania. Arborlita. What's up? Welcome in from Albania. All right, we'll go back to the bench over here. No, I have not used any of the tumbler style sharpeners. I just kind of, I think they're a little gimmicky, to be honest. Thanks, man. It's kind of annoying sometimes, but I'm about, what, 6 years into a stash? I've had a mustache like this for 6 years now. A long time. All right, so one of my next carries is a Tradition Junior. This one is in Nitro V. Tradition Junior in Nitro V. This one is special because it's got what me and my buddy Earl call money handle. It's got green jungle wear fat carbon with green liners and copper Corby screws. It looks like dollar bills and pennies. It's pretty cool. I carry this one quite a bit in my pocket with the Ulti Clip Slim 3.3. I've carried it until the eyelets are no longer black. This thing's been carried a lot. I love the way that this carries inside of the pocket. Here, I'll show you. Let me drop this all the way down. So I carry this inside of my pocket. See, this is how I carry my other knife. I carry a leather saddle loop. But for my pocket carry, the Ulti Clip, I really like these particular shorts to carry it in. Some of my pants, the pocket line is more horizontal, and on this one it's vertical. So you have a pocket that goes in this way instead of down. So the pockets that have a horizontal line or like a horizontal cut pocket, the knife handle sticks out, and that's what I don't care for. So I won't carry this knife in pants that have pockets like that. I really like carrying it in these shorts because when I stick it down inside of here, I like to turn it all the way forward. And now I've got this Ulti Clip clipping onto the pocket right here. I like to turn it all the way forward and then clip it. David Gray. Take care, David. Good to see you, bud. So I really like this particular carry because now you can see the knife is completely concealed. It's 100% gone. It doesn't exist anymore, but it's just right there. And easy out, easy in. Easy out and easy in. Now you could two-hand this. When you take this out, when you take your knife out of the sheath, sometimes your sheath will kind of fall back down in there. Rather than me digging around and poking myself, I mean, you could come over here and pull it up. I don't really have to do that. I can just reach in and grab the thumb ramp right there and just kind of pull it backwards and it'll stay. And then I'll put it away that way. So it's not a two-handed thing, which is a biggie. Just like that. And the knife stays concealed, even like moving around, sitting, it just stays. I really like the Ulti-Clip carry. That's how I like to carry that particular knife. And the missus, she carries a Wasp that way in her pocket. And that's our favorite use for the Ulti-Clip. There's some other uses for it, but that's my favorite. You can see about the depth that I've got it set to. I've got it up pretty high, about level with the top of the sheath. And that's where I like it. It's pretty sweet. So let's see, up next, I already showed my adventure, my last adventure and my current adventure. Another one that I've been playing with a lot here lately. This one's full of wax. This is the Hawk, designed by Gabriel, Last Huntsman Outdoors. I do still have a couple of these. This one's an 80 CRV2 and it has a flat dark earth sheath. I took this knife to Blade Show and it did not sell, so I didn't give it much of a chance at home. I just swiped it because I didn't get a Hawk, and I wanted one because I did keep an Eagle, which is the bigger version of the Hawk, which is the way bigger version of the Hawk. But I had an Eagle in green, and the Hawk in green just seemed to make sense, so I kept it to have a matched pair. I haven't used the Hawk as much as I've used the Eagle, but I do love this knife. I think it's a great carver. And this thing is a beast as well, the Eagle. Anyway, one of Gabe's last designs was, or Gabe's first design with me was the Huntsman. And here's the Huntsman. I was reluctant to show this, and second guessing it now, but I'm gonna show it anyway. So
Will not be making.
yeah, no, I won't be making more of these, but this is something that I talked about a while back with Gabe. So when we did the Huntsman run, Reese, well-regulated Reese showed me or sent me a picture of the Huntsman with a clip point. He just kind of edited the picture and clipped the point, and he's like, yep, this is what it needs. And so the Huntsman actually, it has a big drop point. The tip on this is about where it was anyway. I didn't really move the tip, but I clipped all the roundness off and made it a clip point. So I never kept a Huntsman. I never got to keep one, and I wanted one, but I wanted one like this. So I had a customer actually send this back to me, and I replaced this knife because see, it's off center ground right there. I don't know how that slipped past my eyes, but it did, and I honored it. I replaced the knife for him, sent him one that was much more satisfactory, but it's ground off center, and I don't know, again, I don't know how that made it past my eyes for quality control, but it did. The rest of the knife is perfectly fine. In fact, the knife was in brand new unused condition. It was just a couple months after, and he pulled it out. It's like, I haven't gotten to use it at all. I've just been so dang busy, but I noticed that it was ground off center. Will you replace it? And I did. So I ended up keeping it because I didn't want to sell it to anybody else with an off ground or off center ground edge. So I ended up just keeping it. This one I actually did the clip point to, and I love this knife. I think it's fantastic. I thought this knife got stolen out of my Suburban a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago. I lost it for probably a month. I don't know how I lost it, but I wrapped it up in something and it got put somewhere deep and dark. What's up, Ground Fog? So I couldn't find this thing forever, and I was kind of upset about that.
Kinda.
Yeah. All right, another one of my favorites is the classic First Strike. This is an OG First Strike, first gen, with the Electrochem old logo etched on there. And brass screws, brass Corby screws, Nat micarta. See the Nat's kind of darkened up on this one. This one's been used and played with and slashed a few things. It's an ADC RV2. It's hollow ground. The hollow grind First Strikes have lost some popularity to the flat ground or the high saber flat ground First Strike version, which I personally feel like the high saber flat grind is, I mean, it's not just a personal opinion. It is more versatile than the hollow grind. Not that my hollow grinds are weak in any way. It's just that, you know, I would feel more comfortable having a flat ground survival knife than a hollow ground survival knife, especially one this size that would have to do it all. Now, that being said, there are people that very much prefer the hollow grind because it is a Bowie style combat minded knife with the integrated double guards. As far as sliciness goes, you would want the hollow grind, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I got some requests a long time ago to do some flat ground flat ground First Strikes.
Careful.
And
Careful what you say. They're gonna get you.
Yeah. I did some flat ground First Strikes a while back. In fact, I sent one to PBKG. He ordered one, and then I had a whole bunch of orders for them. And then I made a high saber flat for Gabe, and his is a Gen 3, and people saw it and had to have some too. So I did do a small run of the high saber flat ground First Strikes, and they were gone quick too. So the newest model that I've got coming out, this weekend we just dropped a new one, and that is the Lone Star. And I'll show it one more time. We got a whole bunch of people in here. All these knives are sold, these Lone Stars, but I brought them anyway so I could have something to show on the live stream. But this is the Lone Star. This one's a Nitro V. Pretty good looking logo, right? That was a pain in the neck. I'm not tech savvy. I try to be. When I have to be, I'll do it, and I'll learn it some way or another. Anyhow, this is the Lone Star, designed by Zachary Schmidt. Zach's the one that sent me all these knives that aren't mine that you saw at the beginning, or the knives that aren't made by me. Zach sent me, and he does that to a lot of people. I'm not the only one. So when he told me he wanted to design and make a knife, then I absolutely agreed, because I feel like Zach, of any people, out of all people, deserve it. But anyhow, the Lone Star is a new model. I've got another new model dropping soon. I can't say exactly when, because I've been waiting on some steel to come in. But I do have enough ADCRV2 to do some of the Counter Strike. This is the Counter Strike. This is the first one. And it's a smaller version. This is the first time I've ever had these two side by side. So I just finished this on Friday, and I put it aside. I oiled it up. I did not make a sheath for it yet. I just left it at the shop. This knife has been at home, so I haven't put these two side by side yet. And there they are. Side by side, the First Strike and the Counter Strike. So pretty dang cool. Essentially, this is a shrunk down version of this. Now this right here, I have met some people throughout the years doing shows, some absolute mountain of men that would carry a knife of this size. In fact, I remember a guy at a blade show a long time ago. This is when we first started making knives. He stopped in to talk knives, and he pulled out this big old Tanto blade, and I can't remember who made it for him, but he gave the story on it. So-and-so made it for him, but he carries that every day. Now, this guy was like almost 7 foot tall. He was probably 400 or 500 pounds. He was a big dude. Big old Santa Claus beard. And his hands filled the knife completely. I mean, the handle was like 6 inches. and it filled the handle completely. But when he handed the knife to me, it looked like, I mean, it looked like this in his hands, and then when he handed it to me, this is what it looked like in my hands. So there are people that are just absolute giants. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you again. I saw Jeff today in the TKL live stream. I was watching the TKL live stream today too. So there are people that would carry, some absolute giants that would carry every day a knife like this. I wouldn't because, well, I mean, it's 11 inches and it would look ridiculous on my belt. It would get in the way of everything. And this one is a nicely shrunk down version of that. It's just over 8 inches. It is, let's see. Here, I'll show you. No. Come here. About to tip my tripod over. So this one, the Counter Strike is just under 8.5 inches. It's just under 8.5 inches. So it's on the line. It's on the line of a little big, but if I was to shrink it any smaller, it wouldn't be able to. I don't know. It just wouldn't check the boxes for me. It needed to have the double guard of the First Strike. You know, that kind of, I got to carry that style in. And this one is in a high saber flat grind, or almost a full flat grind. You can see a little cheek there. But this, I'm sure there's going to be people wondering whether or not I will make a hollow grind version, because I make a hollow and a flat grind version of the First Strike. Yes, I will make a hollow and a flat grind version of the Counter Strike as well. So both of them will be doable in that sense.
You got a broken leg. You can't do it.
Dude, I don't do flips anymore. I broke both of my legs trying to be Jeremy McGrath, and I don't do flips anymore. Anyway, that is the newest model that is coming, the Counter Strike. And I have, well, let's just go look. So I'm not talking out of my butt here. I have, well, that's enough for about 8 of them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there's 5. I got enough for about 6 or 7 of them here. But Gabe has one on order, and he's going to get a Gen 3. There's one that I drew up. I was going to make something like that a while back, big old recurve. Sometimes I get bored in the shop whilst I'm sitting down taking a break and letting my legs rest, and I'll draw on some patterns and just to see. But anyway, I've got enough for a run of 6 in 80 CRV2. That's 80 CRV2, that steel that I just pulled out there. And I'll probably do, if I do a run in 80 CRV2, they'll probably all look identical to this. So this one has got the double green micarta. Pretty dang awesome. Hey, it's good to see you, the Maroni. Hey, subscribe if you have not already. I don't remember seeing you in here, but it was good to see you. Nice to have you around. Thanks for joining us today. So, again, if I do a drop of these soon, then they'll probably all look identical to this, with 80 CRV2 and double green micarta. Well, you can't put it in your cart just yet because I don't have any made just yet. But this one is the first one, and I'm probably going to keep this one, honestly. And I want to send this one around and do some testing and playing with it. I know it's going to work out great, but I think it's a fantastic looking knife. So I'm going to be doing, next week's drop will be, or this coming week, this coming week, what I'll be dropping, well, let's just talk about that for a second. So I've got a whole bunch of adventures in Nitro V, and I don't think that I'll be dropping these next week. And I might change my mind tomorrow when I get into the shop. But, Jeff, if there's anything you want, buddy, you know, just holler at me. And there was nothing on the drop that I won't remake, that's for sure. But I've got some adventures. There's a dozen of them here. These are all heat-treated Nitro V. I've got a dozen in 5/32, and then I've got 3 of them in 3/16. One of these, I'm looking at the order board now. I think one of these might be spoken for, but stock drops is what I'm talking about. So my drops are on my website, verygoodknifecode.com. And if you subscribe to the newsletter on the website there, I send out newsletters before the drop, the day before or the morning before, and one couple hours before. I try to send out newsletters more often than that, but 90% of my time is spent in the shop. I don't do any Damascus anymore. When I worked at Two Jake's Knives, we made Damascus all the time, and I have made thousands of knives in Damascus using our own Damascus, and I've made thousands of knives in Alabama Damascus as well. But I'm just, not everybody is searching for Damascus, and sometimes it can be kind of hard to sell, be honest. There's just a different market for it. But anyway, next week, I'm going to drop some wasps. Wasps and hornets. So wasps and hornets are, so I attempted to make a balisong out of a piece of brass for the handles a long time ago, and it worked out, but I'm not crazy about them, to be honest with you. It's just not my style, I guess. But I think they're kind of cool. I've seen some that were pretty cool. Anyway, this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be dropping hornets. These are hornets, and these are wasps. So the hornets and the wasps are the same, essentially the same knife. A couple nice shiny examples here. Here's the wasp, and here's the hornet. See that they are essentially like in shape identical. This one is just scaled up. So the wasp is 6.75 inches, 6 3/4 inches. This one is about 7.5. And the biggest difference between the two, aside from the obvious size difference, is the thickness difference. The hornet is 5/32 stock, and the wasp is in 1/8 inch. So 0.125, 0.165, or 156. Both of them get hollow grind, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of grip tech over the next few months at least, because I have a whole bunch of grip tech on the shelf. What's up, outdoor analyst? Good to see you. I've got all that right there. That big stack is all grip tech, and they're all bigger sheets. There's like 6 sheets there. My wasp could use a hornet. Yeah, the hornets are, I like the hornets. I really like the way that they fill out the handle. So the wasp and, or the hornet, the Mustang, and the Falcon all have the same handle. I have some Mustangs here heat treated as well, but and I was gonna try and do some of these as well. Let's see, I've got 7 of them, 3 in Nitro V, 4 in 80 CRV2. Along the same, I got the same amount of those in the hornets as well. But I was going to do all of them, and I am going to run out of Corby screws. That's all I got left for Corby screws. So it's going to be enough to do those hornets, and I've got a little bit more on the way. But it'll be enough to do the hornets, and then I've got plenty of the small Corby screws. That's for the wasp size knife, wasp juniors, mantis, stuff like that. Anyway, that's what you can expect to see this week. Yeah, I did see that. You got lucky on that one, because that one knife that you got, was the only knife that made it outside of 2 hours on the drop. Everything was gone within 2 hours. And there it is right there. That black grip tech's really nice. So these particular knives from well, these Lone Stars and the two, let's see, I had the Adventure in 1/8 inch and a Tradition in 1/8 inch with the flat dark earth grip tech. So these particular ones and all the ones that all the Lone Stars that had grip tech are unique because, so I've not done grip tech without a Gen 3 or without just using a piece of it. Now I've used grip tech on I want to say one signature series, and that one was bead blasted, and I have had no real like long-term experience working with it and trying to finish it on a fitted or a permanent handle. So like with the so grip tech is a rubber resin composite. It is a resin that has been infused with a whole bunch of rubber. If you can see all those little black specks in there, all that is rubber. And when you finish it, well, you can't see it on the black at all because they're black, but when you finish it, all those little rubber pieces are exposed, and yeah, it is kind of like G10V. When you expose all those little rubber pieces, they get really tacky and grippy. In fact, they get even gripperier when they're a little bit wet. So like hand moisture will make the knife tackier. Will make the grip tech tackier. It's pretty neat. But this is what it looks like, and this is the black grip tech. I had trouble getting this stuff exactly the way I wanted it. It's the first time I've done it on Corby screws without removing. So like I've done a good bit of these. Yes, sir, Joey Kent. I do sell these on the website, verygoodknifeco.com. I just did a drop on Friday with the Lone Star, which is what I'm holding in my hand, and they all sold out pretty quick. I'm going to be doing a drop this weekend, and I'll show a lot of the making process over the week. I'll do a bunch of live streams, and I'll show how I make all these. Takuro Shinji said, what is the best finishing grit to use for a skinning, deboning knife for deer? 400 grit. That's the best finishing grit. So anyway, about these, you can see that the Corby screws are not shiny. That's because they're still blasted. So I've done grip tech on Generation 3s where they have the removable handle screws. So I would finish the handle to like 90%, and then I would just remove the handles, blast the handles and the blade separate. The blade go to Cerakote. We'll Cerakote the blade and then put it all back together. But I've not attempted to get that same texture on a belt satin finished knife, and I did it now. So all I did was tape up the blade really good and fit it like super tight. Like I jammed the tape down into the corner of the ricasso and the handle face right there, and then I just blasted the handles anyway. And rather than leave, so like all up underneath around the tang, all the way to where the tape was, there was a line right there. That was all bead blasted. Everything was bead blasted. And I did that because, I mean, really the only way to get the perfect texture on the grip tech is to blast it. So instead of finishing the Corby screw heads, which they're stainless anyway, so it's not a big deal if they're blasted. But they are, they're still blasted. I did not finish them. So the handle's been blasted, but then it's been belt satin finished. It's pretty cool. it just took a little extra time.
How long have you been doing this, and who taught you? Were you self-taught?
So, I have been a knife maker, a full-time career knife maker for 15 years now. My old man and I started making knives. My dad and I started making knives in 2009 as a hobby, and he was a big-time case collector. In 2010, we had already sold off a bunch of the case collection, and then we just started making knives, and it snowballed into spending so much time in it that we just needed to we really needed to either go all in or go all out, get out. So we went all in. I've been making knives for 15 years, and a lot of what I learned was self-taught. We've had a lot of teaching. Well, I had some teaching from some other knife makers, and I've learned a whole bunch from YouTube. And honestly, a lot of just trial and error. So my knife making early on led me to a job making knives. Not only was I doing a job making knives with our own brand, but my work netted me a job working part-time for a well, I don't know if I'd say that, but I won't go into that, but I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate the sentiment. I got a job working for Premium Knife Supply, which is a knife supply company in Hayesville, North Carolina, which is not far from here, about an hour from here. I worked for Doug Metzger when he owned Premium Knife Supply, grinding blades, and I did a few thousand blades for them, and that's where a lot of my experience early on came in. And then the rest of my time has just been spent honing that skill and making knives and making knives. So my numbers today are quite high of how many blades that I've seen run through my fingers, but it's been a very, very, very long ride, and I can't complain. Here I am now with my current setup. This is the grinder room, and I just finished a big remodel in the shop. So this old bench right here, that was my my moto bench. I've done some mechanic work on small engine as a hobby. But I only had this bench for a long time. And then when we moved, I put my moto bench in the shop here, and keep doing it. I keep doing it because I'm too invested to quit, and there's bills to pay. I mean, to be totally honest with you, man, that's the number one factor. This is a job that I can't just quit. I can't just not do it, because this is what the shop looks like now. It's so full of equipment, and I've done this for so long. I actually had considered quitting for about 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And then when I broke my legs, I was certain that I would never make knives again, because I was done. But I was ready to branch out on my own rather than just quit. And once I did, I've been happier and happier. So it's been pretty dang good. I cannot complain. But this is what the shop looks like now. Now I've got 3 grinders and a big giant bench that goes all the way around. I just built that bench and the one on the end down there, and I just built that bench, and that one I've had a while. This one's pretty old, and I moved this was my old grinder bench. It's where that grinder right there used to sit, right here. And I'm gonna put another kiln right here. This is a kiln, heat treating kiln. And then I just expanded into this room of the shop. So this is my sheath setup room. I got a big old table there. And that table was actually there. This shop used to be an upholstery shop. And there used to be a big old sewing machine right here. And this table is huge. It's about 6 foot by 8 foot. And inside of it, up underneath, there's a whole bunch of upholstery material. But the late owner did upholstery in here, and now I rent it from his wife. So this is the Kydex room. That's a pancake press, and then these are all taco presses, taco sheath presses. You guys are probably wondering what am I talking about? Some of you are probably wondering. So this is a pancake sheath. It's 2 separate pieces, and it's molded on both sides, and they're joined on both sides with the eyelets. This is a, where would you go? All right, we'll just show this one, a reef. This is a taco style sheath, so it folds over a knife. It's one piece, only eyelets on one side, and it's molded all the way around. So that's a taco style sheath, and that's a pancake style sheath. So the different style presses can be seen here. So this press actually stands up on its own, and it's got some big old lugs that lock in like that. That's how that one works. And then these presses, the mold is meant to go down inside of there, and I push down in it to keep it molded nice and tight around the back side of the knife. Pretty cool. I just built this bench right here as well, this bench and this shelf for Kydex work. Before, all the Kydex work was done on this table right here, and this is now just dedicated to cutting Kydex. So this rib right here, I slide Kydex underneath this and butt it up against this. This is all square, and hell, I'll just show you guys. How about it? I'll show you guys how that works. So I'm going to make a video here soon, as requested by Justin Burton of War Crown Forge. He wanted me to share some wisdom on the Kydex because my Kydex sheaths have gained almost as much reputation as the knives. So here's a big old sheet of Kydex. I always buy in 2 foot by 4 foot sheets, and you see this slides under this little aluminum rib. And then I've got these pieces of scrap micarta. So this one's got a notch at 7 inches. This side's got a notch at 6 inches. And when I want 6-inch sheaths, those are for smaller knives. When I want 6-inch sheaths, I just grab this notch, put it down, and I'll run it until it stops at the rail. Now I've got 6 inches. I'll just grab my handy dandy roughneck. This is a Very Good Knife Company roughneck, and it's only sharp on the front of the compound grind. It's not sharp back here. There's no edge. You can see that it's flat right there. But I only sharpen up here, and this is what I use to cut my Kydex. So I just score it, and then it'll just snap right off, just like that. And then I can move this aside and use my cutter, or I mean my marking tool, or there's a name for these. No, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, I'll just use that to cut out the sizes that I need. Just like that. Now I've got 4 6-inch pieces, and when I'm done, I just stick them up here on the shelf, and that way I can grab from the shelf and put them right in the oven onto the cookie sheet where they get heated up. So there's you a good look at the Kydex cutting and the table. Then over here, we've got the laser machine. It's just a com marker B4, 20 watt fiber laser. And then that press right there is just for eyelets, Kydex eyelets. Pretty sweet, right? So there you go, little shop tour. Talk about a bunch of knives. Showed a bunch of knives that I didn't make today. Showed a bunch of knives that I did make today. Even showed you some new models. Again, I'll have the Counter-Strike dropping within the next month or so, and it'll probably just be 6 of them in 80 CRV2. Yes, sir, they do all come with sheaths. Knife is no good without a sheath. And so this is what they're going to come looking like. These boxes are going to have labels on them, but I just write on them so I can stand them all up like that and just label them that way. They're so much easier. But this is what your knife's going to come like in the box. Inside the box, you'll have a lifetime warranty card. That QR code will take you to the website. It'll come with a Little Very Good Knife Company sticker and a couple of business cards, one for you, one for a friend. But this is what the knives, all my knives come looking like right here. Now, minus the First Strike does come with a pancake style sheath like this, and it comes with a nylon dropper. Kind of, well, it looks just like this one, and I make these as well. This is what the Huntsman, the Eagle, comes with. These droppers right here as well. The actual the dropper plate itself is made out of 1/8 inch Kydex, so it's super thick and it's extremely tough. And I did that because I've had droppers like this before, like this one right here. Here's an example, right? So this is one from the off-grid knives. This Kydex looks like this is 60 thousandths or 80 thousandths. This might be 80 thousandths Kydex. Let's find out. This is 80 thousandths Kydex. So just slightly thicker than what I use. I like the 60 thousandths because it gives a better snap. And it's easier to work with. But this is the 80 thousandths Kydex, and then they use the 80 thousandths Kydex for the backer. And you see, you can flex this, it'll move around, and if you carry this a long time in any kind of heat or anything, and it'll flex, it'll warp over time, it'll warp. That's why I went with such a thick backer, because these, I mean, they really, I can't make it flex at that little spot right there. I can't make it bend. I'm just pulling from the rubber grommets right here. This stuff is extremely tough. But other than those big knives, all of the regular knives, like the regular sized knives here, will come with this nylon, rubberized nylon strap. Is a pull the dot snap style strap, and these straps can be carried several different ways. So right now it's just on there, and I put it on there this way because it's the best way for me to put it on and stick it in the box. But this strap can be carried several different ways, and I'll show you how I like to carry one of these straps. So if you were to, and this knife's been paid for already also, so I'm going to be careful with I don't drop it or do anything dumb. Anyway, the stud for the snap looks like this. There's a screw on the inside of it. We're going to take that screw off. I'm going to remove the screw. Now I've got my button stud or snap stud. I've got a little taper head screw, 832 screw, and I've got my bare taco style sheath and a rubberized nylon strap with a little stud or a post in it. This is a screw post, 832 screw post. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take the post out of the strap. Now this strap, you can see, if you want to tighten it up against the sheath, you can do so. So like, we'll put the button right over the center of that hole. You can cut, or you can put the snap down on this third hole and tighten the strap up to the sheath a little bit more, and then cut off all that extra if you wanted. So it's kind of adjustable. But the way that I like to run these straps is I like to bring them down, okay? And I'm gonna use the post, and I'm gonna stick the post in here just like that, about the 4th eyelet down. And then I'm going to stick the strap on the post just like this. So my snap is facing outward to where the loop will snap in just like this. I'm gonna set it onto the post, and then I'm gonna take our snap and set it over the top. We'll go ahead and screw it down if it just stopped being a pain in the ass. I'm gonna go ahead and screw that down just like that. And now we have a vertical carry set up. So if you look, the top of the loop is right about there, and I'll show you how to carry that. So I'll drop you down, spread this out. All right, so we'll just leave my other knife back there, okay? I'm going to open the strap just like this, and then I'm gonna slide this whole thing down under the belt. Just like that, underneath my belt. You see, I'm under the belt now. If you guys can see that. Okay, and then I'll take my strap and snap it on. So now that's in there, it's not going anywhere. I was just trying to show you that it's in there, and that was a good example. So this can be moved around, and it's held in by your belt, and it's held in by that strap. So the sheath will not come out ever at all. These snaps actually won't unsnap from this direction. You have to pull on the dot. There's a dot, and it says on the button head right there, it says pull the dot. So these can't just like accidentally come undone from a little bit of belt tension. You have to undo them. But that right there allows it to cant forward or backwards, just move around real freely with you. But as you can see, without me having to use the thumb ramp, the knife comes in and out very cleanly, very smoothly. That's a way that you can carry those particular style of straps. Now again, the way that I mail them out, because this is kind of hard to explain, and I've made a video on this before, but the way that I always mail them out is I always just stick the stud in the last hole, and then I'll put it into the second to the top hole, just like that, and I'll screw our post or our snap on. Just like so. And there you have it. That's what they look like when you get them. Now you can carry this scout carry as well. You just run your belt through there on either side. Pack straps, things like that. These straps are pretty dang nice. And I mean, to be honest with you, they're not amazing. I don't carry one myself. I do have some that I carry every now and then, depending on like occasion. If I want it really concealed, I'll do what I just showed you, and that's to flip the strap around and run it vertical, run it inside my belt. But for the most part, my favorite way to carry them is with what I call a saddle loop. I call it a saddle loop because, well, like a horse, this runs over its back of the sheath. See there? Kind of like a saddle. But anyway, this is a leather loop, and this one's kind of old because it's been hand stitched. And I used to make a bunch of these with Cobra Class 4 sewing machine, but now I've resorted to using copper post and burr rivets. This one is ready to go into the mail. This one is for Mr. Gabe. It was supposed to be on his Revelation that he ordered. I did not do that. I didn't see that on the order list. So anyway, I've made it up. Here it is, and I'll be mailing this out to him Monday or Tuesday, whenever. But this is what they look like after a year of every single day carry. The loops will get kind of soft, but here's the thing, like these, I do sell these as well. And I made this one this morning for somebody, and I make them pretty quick. I'd like to make them quicker. But anyhow, that's the way that I like to carry them. All my personal EDCs, if they don't have that ulti clip, like my where'd you go? Like my Tradition Junior to go in the pocket. If they don't have an ulti clip, then I put that leather saddle on them like this. You can see that leather saddle. And this allows the knife to flip and flex. Look at that, I'm twisting it all the way around. Twisting, flip, flex, doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna take a long time for you to wear the leather out. And they are super stiff when they're brand new. You'll get a lot of use out of these before they get to a point where, well, I mean, hell, I don't think I've ever worn one out, honestly. I have worn the sheaths out before I wear the leather out. So this, I'll pull it halfway to where the sheath is flexing. This one, you can kind of see the sheath is broke right there. Sometimes it happens, but again, I carry this knife every single day for a year. So a little crack in the sheath, and it's not like it's changed anything. It doesn't really have any rattle to it. It has a ton of retention still. But I mean, you can see the Kydex has worn out before the leather wore out. So I mean, is it worth the extra 25 bucks that I'm charging for the piece of leather? Yeah, I mean, to me it is, because I started making the leather saddle loops about, well, probably about 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, and I won't carry any other way. So I just absolutely do not like Kydex belt loops. I don't like hard belt loops, and I don't really like clips like this one that's on the T-Kel. I'm not crazy about clips because they don't flex much. Like if you tweak the knife wrong, the clip is going to come off. Most of them. Now things like the ulti clip. Now this serves a different purpose. Like I was talking earlier. This is actually a completely different mechanism. I don't make these. They're made by Ulti Clip. I'm looking to become. I'm trying to become a dealer for Ulti Clip right now because that's one of our favorite attachments is the Ulti Clip. So Ulti Clip actually came out with a new clip as well. It's pretty cool. So I got a taco sheath, or I mean a pancake sheath here. I'll show you. So a long time ago, or let's see, not a long time ago, about a year and a half ago, they came out with the Ulti Clip AP. Now I've been carrying the Slim 3.3, and I've got a whole bunch of them. I bought a bunch of them. But I've been carrying the Slim 3.3, and I think it's pretty awesome. And then they came out with the AP clip, and this is the APH. The APH is a horizontal capable clip. Now the AP clip is a spring like this, and it was only for vertical. It would only carry vertical. And that kind of, I don't know, it just didn't, it wasn't for me. So I've just been carrying the slim 3.3s. Well, Gabe, over last Huntsman, he switched over to the AP clip and liked it better. And then this year at Blade Show, when we went to see Ulti Clip, they had come out with a new AP style clip called the APH. And this one, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to do it right quick. This one can mount horizontal on a, so this one can mount just like this. I can mount it just like this to carry horizontal with this TCL sheath right here, right? I can carry it horizontal, or I can spread this apart and mount it like this and mount it vertical as well. So the thing is though, this won't go vertical on, let me grab Taco Sheath. Say hey, missus. Because it's now all over you. She said, no, I'm not looking up. All right, so you could use the AP clip on the Taco Sheath, but it won't go vertical on a Taco Sheath because there's nowhere else to clip this on. So if you're going to use a Taco Sheath, then you just need the regular AP clip, not the APH. But what I think is really cool is my biggest struggle was always with the pancake style sheaths, because the pancake style sheaths are harder to get a perfect carry setup for, in my opinion. I think it's harder to carry the pancake style sheath as opposed to the taco style sheath. Now, obviously, there's going to be more places, like the TCL sheath's got some eyelets and it's got slots, milled slots. But anyway, I think that it's pretty neat. I'm going to try and put one on right quick so I can show you. Let's do here, and let's put a washer and the clip and the little metal thingy that goes over the clip. So this is a pain. This is kind of tedious right here. I can already tell this is going to be annoying. I got one started. Alright. Got one started. Now it'll go a little easier. There's one. I'll leave that loose for the next one. Let's do that guy, this guy, and here like that. Just like so. Now, what the hell? I thought I had it started and it was not. I let go of the spring and it just moved. Alright, I got it started now. For sure. I had it started. I've not played with one of these yet. Just at Blade Show. So now this is a first. Thought I could wait and do it with you guys on live stream. Alright, now I'm going to move this up and tighten it down. Just like that. So now we've got this spring clip and it's very, very tight. It's very, very, very tight. And this will go over your belt, and that little hook right there, it will not come undone. So I played with the AP clip, and the AP clip has got the same kind of little hook, right? And the thing that I didn't care for it as much was So like before the clip grabs all the way, it's kind of got to bunch up a little pants material, and then it'll start to grab. It still fulfills the purpose of it not ripping the sheath out of your pocket if you're like pocket carrying. So it did its job. It just, like the Ulti-Clip, it clamps onto the top part of your pocket, so it doesn't have to like bunch up any materials or hook onto anything. It's already clipped on. But what's cool about the AP clip is it can go vertical and horizontal on this kind of sheath. Then that would be as simple as like switching this particular screw. We'll take this screw out and swing this thing around, swap this out, put it there, and now this clip can be carried horizontally, just like that. And now this clip can clip on, and with this particular sheath, this is neat. So if you're like carrying it inside like a waistband for pants, this clip coming past the sheath is actually going to pull your material over the sheath and make it even more solid. I think that clip is really cool. This is the APH clip from Ulti-Clip. So I was actually talking with somebody from Ulti-Clip about becoming a dealer, and then he died. Rest in peace to him. I don't remember his name, but I met him at Blade Show, and we were talking a little, and then he died on me. He died on all of us. Anyway, so there you have it. It's way hotter in there than it is out here. See, I chose to stand right here because I'm standing right in front of the air conditioner. It's been nice. Anyway, that is all I got for you guys today for National Knife Day. I'm glad that everybody tuned in. I am absolutely tickled to death that I got to come and talk to you guys. What's up, JCL Outdoors? He said, love your channel. Me and my two buddies in 14. It's my friend's birthday. Heck yeah, man. Good to have you. Thanks for watching, bud. Good to talk with you, Joey. Glad you tuned in. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Don't lose me. I appreciate everybody's support, no matter how big or small. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Tune in later this week, maybe tomorrow, who knows. But I go live, and I usually set the camera up right here, and I'll do all kinds of grinding and make all kinds of dust in the shop here. We'll shout out all of our banners today. Of course, Beaumont Metalworks, the KMG grinders, my favorite kind of grinders. I've got 3 of them, and I love them to death. Maker Material Supply. Guys, Aaron and family over there, they are just some of the greatest people in the industry. I love them. If you're a new maker and you're looking for the best place to get supplies, Maker Material Supply is it. Hey, and if you're looking for something even more fancy, Raffier USA, Maker Material now runs all operations of Raffier USA, and they specialize in fossils and things of that nature. And of course, we've got to shout out Sweetman's Plumbing. My pal over there at Sweetman's Plumbing has hooked me up with a lot of my vacuum system, which has been fantastic. And of course, if you are in the Northeast Georgia area and you need the greatest plumbing service that ever did exist, give them a call, 770-538-0727, get a sweet deal. And last but not least, New Jersey Steel Baron, my supply for steel. They are fantastic people, and if you guys are looking for steel of any kind to make knives with, that is your place. I promise you, you won't be disappointed with the customer service or the steel, because it's all fantastic. There you have it, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tune in next time. I'll see you later.